Hello, this is the Unperishable podcast, and I'm your host, Shari. I don't know about you, but higher education and all that is nice and necessary for some. But what I have learned to be true is research, education, mistakes, and experiences give the information we really need to be successful. I believe the collective information will help you level up in life and in your community. I really want to ensure that we do not perish for lack of knowledge and stay in the know with Shari and the Know Nation. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's Shari. And today we are on season 1, episode 3 of the Unperishable podcast. And we will be talking about relationships and goals. But first things first, have you joined the Know Nation? Have you been to our website? Connect with us and the fellow Know Nationers on our website, theunperishable.com. And tell a friend. Let's make sure we remain unperishable as a community built on knowledge. I hope you have all been working on the last call to action and meeting with your legislators. For those of you who have, I'm adding a special treat for all subscribers of the Know Nation. I'm creating a letter that you can personalize as a first step, along with a worksheet for you to research for your ask if you have an upcoming meeting. Make sure you subscribe and are a part of our newsletter so you can receive these wonderful treats. Now, it's time to get a little personal. When I think about the Know Nation, I see visionaries, people with drive and vision, and lots of positive energy to share within their circle. Is that you? I know it is. But honestly, how do you balance relationships and goals? In this podcast, we're going to discuss friendships, relationships, family, and taking care of YOU. Now, I don't have all the answers, but I've navigated through balancing friendships, relationships, family, my dreams, and in all honesty, kind of finding time for myself last. And I know putting me last isn't a good idea, and it's not great. But the fact that I'm finding time for myself right now is progress, and I'm just going to take it as a win. Prioritizing your relationships is hard work because, really, how can you choose between friendships, family, love, and self? It's an impossible decision to make for anyone. But we must make sure that we balance our lives so that we can enjoy it to the fullest. Because it's torture feeling like you can only have one thing. We know success is based on you and your values, and it's not dollars and cents. So let's make some sense of things, though. First, we're going to talk about friendships. What about your friends? Now, I recently heard a quote from John Gray that said, "Your tribe has your vibe." And this spoke to me because I have a few friends that keep me real hype and really just won't let me start or stay in a pity party. We're a tribe that encourages each other. We understand that there's no failure, and we all want to level up in our own way. So we're going to talk about friendships first. And I'm going to have a real honest moment right now. A lot of times, I feel like a bad friend. I have aspirations, a full-time job, a business, an organization, a relationship, a family, a life, and a dog in no certain order because everything matters. And I want to be there for everyone, but I have to choose me first. And one thing that I've done is kind of taken a selfish stand, and I think it's healthy. But I also am very honest about understanding that reciprocation matters. And in this, I had to acknowledge that I was feeling bad because I hadn't met my expectations. And although I know my friends know how much they mean to me, because I try to let them know all the time, I still kind of just felt like I wasn't being a great friend. And last year, something happened. I sent all my friends a message asking them how I could be a better friend to them. I knew I had invested in so many people and had business plan boot camps and done presentations and was really helping other people. And I wanted to make sure that the people that I cared about were getting what they needed from me as well. And I received a few responses. Some people just said, I want more time with you. And I understood that. And some people were just fine with our relationship where it was. And that was good too. But I had one friend that I felt I really just hadn't connected with enough. And one day she sent me the most touching text saying how much she appreciated me and how I was a great friend. And this made me think about something. The type of friend that I want and need is not what everybody wants and needs. Now, I like connecting with my friends and having, these positive conversations and talking about, aspirations and goals. Although I understand all conversations are not, marshmallows and sunshine, but I also am not going to have all conversations that are doomsday and everything's horrible. So in this, I understood that what I was to her mattered, and it was enough. And that was huge for me because here I am thinking I'm not being a good friend. And on the opposite side of me is someone who's like, you're amazing. So take a moment and give yourself a pat on the back because somebody thinks you're amazing. And this kind of took me to a place where a mentor of mine mentioned having friend boxes. Sometimes I get disappointed in my friends. And my mentor told me, you have to know who your friends are to you, and you also have to know who you are to them. And accept that sometimes you are a friend for a reason, and sometimes you're a friend for a season. And that was kind of life-changing when you really put people in their place, literally. It's helpful. It's helpful to move forward. I'll just say that. When you're trying to build a business, a brand, an organization, many times you need all hands on deck. And that sometimes means just showing up. And sometimes that means staying on the phone with me for late nights while I finish up a proposal. If you're my friend, that's what it means. And this part gets a little tricky because I know I have friends that love and support me. But sometimes they're a little more critical than I need. And I have to tread lightly. So I'll say, just listen. Or I need to talk, but I really don't want your opinion. And I kind of feel like that's fair because it gives me the opportunity to say what I need to say and talk myself out of whatever rut I'm in. And if they know they're in a space where they can't hold it in, they can let me know and I can make another phone call. But that doesn't take away from me wanting the truth because I want the truth and I want people to be honest with me. What I also want my friends to know is that before I even made the phone call to them, more times than not, I've, in my own mind, defeated myself already. And constant critical criticism isn't helpful to that. Because even honesty can be given in a kind manner. I just say, some people, their line is, I am who I am, or take it or leave it, or I've been like this my whole life. And that can be very true. So consider this. Consider your friend that you love and care about. Your friend that's waking up early and going to bed late, trying to make their 9-to-5 income sustain not only their personal life, but their business financially. Understanding that, honestly, it's easier just to live a regular life. And I say that in air quotes because it is. Being an entrepreneur, though, is in my heart. I love it. Knowing that I can create something that can inspire and change someone's day and life, that is what makes me feel strong. That's my strength. And with that being said, I know I still have to maintain relationships with my friends. So a tip that I used for 2019 is this. See, get another bonus. Each month, I write down a list of names. Some people I need to text within the month. Some people I need to call at least once. And some I need an actual face-to-face with. I go through my list. And as I check these things off, because I have a literal list, like by the third week of the month, I start adding people to my calendar because I want to make sure I get these things done. These are priority items because the people in my life are priority. They matter. This has been really helpful for me. And do I still drop the ball? Yep. Especially depending on how busy I am. But my heart knows that I'm trying to do better. And if there's someone that I don't get in May, they're added to the top of June. So I'll make sure that I get it done. And this is just a strategy that I'm using. And, 2020 might be something different, but this is what's working for me now. I really wanted to talk about how we feel about our friendships because everybody talks about leveling up on your friends and the company that you keep. But there's another side of it, and that's the guilt. We're driven, but we're also human. And guess what? We know we missed your birthday and all the other important events and get-togethers. Trust me, we know. When I started Shari's Desserts, I worked my full-time job Monday through Friday. And every Friday after work, I went to the store to pick up my supplies, baked till 2, 3 in the morning, took a nap, because that's all it was, because I was getting up again at 5:30 to frost cupcakes and start deliveries by 9:30, 10 o'clock. And many times I would get more orders while I'm out delivering and would start this process all over Saturday evening. I did this for 2 years straight, every weekend. And what I realized is I wasn't celebrating with my friends. Although I made sure they had desserts for their celebration, I wasn't there because I was making sure everyone else's celebrations were stocked with cakes, cupcakes, whatever they ordered. And I knew I had to take time for my friends and schedule differently and make cutoffs for orders to accommodate my life outside of baking. Because once again, friendships matter. And making sure that you navigate this relationship is a vital part of your journey. So, No Nation, let me know what's working for you. What's working for you and your friends and your friendships and being able to balance these things. Because maybe you have some ideas that can help someone else. So let's share. Now, guess what? We're talking about relationships, being booed up. This part of the balancing act includes a lot of consideration. I know a lot of entrepreneurs that are single by choice and live independently for a reason. One thing that I kind of had an issue with for years was knowing that I wanted someone more than I needed them. Now, don't repeat this because men don't like this. So, I want and need you is my motto/slogan. I know it takes a special type of person to be in a relationship with a visionary, an entrepreneur, a creative, because we think differently. And what we say and do sometimes makes no sense at all. Like buying 500 cupcake containers because there's a sale, even though you don't have room for them. But we also realize as these creatives, entrepreneurs, and visionaries that everyone doesn't want this. Some people want a regular job with a pension and a clear retirement date. That's important to them. What's also important is having someone who understands your long nights, sometimes sleepy date nights, because those happen more often than not. And we're going to do better, okay? People who are in a relationship with us, we're going to do better. This is how you don't get stuck, though. I met a guy, and he told me he loved my drive and ambition. He just wanted me not to be busy. So my response was, I'm not the woman for you. We have to recognize quickly that some people like and love the idea of us, but not the reality of us as we are. And we might have to help them see that we're not a match. He was very persistent. And as much as I desired a companion, having the right one was more important than just having one. I don't want someone to resent me, and I don't want to resent them because we didn't acknowledge that we want the other person to change, and my heart's desires aren't going anywhere. Another tip that I have is from a blogger that I follow, and she talks about her shifts. She has 4 currently, and just kind of following what she's doing has helped me a little bit, understanding, prioritizing my life, business, and relationships. So for me, shift 1 is 4:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. This is when I kind of work on my business and organization. From 7:30 to 4:30, that's second shift. That's my day job. Third shift is between 5 and 7:30, and this is when I'm working on self-care, meal prep, kind of just a little bit of me time. And then fourth shift is 7:30 to 10:30. So this time could be, getting a little work done, talking to Bay, getting some documents completed. It's not a strict schedule, but it helps to have this structure for me. Now, Saturday evenings are pretty much off, for me and my relationship Bay. And Sundays are for Jesus and my weekly prep. Now, if you want a relationship, you're going to have to figure something out. You're going to have to shift it out or something. One thing I had to do was make sure that I was ready for a relationship and had time for one. So I started to prioritize my life. What I didn't want to do was ask for someone and then didn't make room for them in my life. So if you're single or you're waiting, ask yourself, do you even have time for someone? Make room and watch them come. You're going to be sending me messages telling me I made room and he fit right in. That's one part of it. Are you even available? I would go to events. People would say, Shari, you always are going places. You're always meeting people. But I was going to events ready to network and schmooze. I wasn't giving off vibes of interest. And once I started going out with not only just my business cards, but also the law of attraction, things began to change for me. So when you go out, go with intention to meet someone, it'll happen. Trust me, it'll happen. Now, men, if you're dating a go-getter, I don't think you should approach if you're the jealous type. Because if your woman is the boss that she should be, she's going to be around successful men. And you're going to have to recognize that they're a part of her circle, not a part of her heart. It's a business connection that sometimes doesn't make sense to other people, but it's necessary in our community because as a Black business or a Black brand or a Black organization, we have to work together and stay in the loop of resources, networking, making successful connections, because otherwise, who's going to help us? Know that you are the piece in her life that keeps her grounded. So many people are pulling on creatives and entrepreneurs and visionaries because we exude so much shine and want us to produce and want us to be. But we still need a place of peace. I've been seeing all over social media, women be his peace, be her peace, be my peace. I need peace too. Okay? Let's just, look at relationships from the point of view that we have to make room, we have to be available, and we have to be understanding, and compromise is a huge part of it. And this goes right over into family. I am not the expert here. And as much as I love my family, I know my family does not understand why I'm not at family gatherings and events. They don't get it. My business, though, is Shari's Desserts. And I mainly bake for the holidays. And I also work a full-time job. So this creates early mornings and late nights. Thanksgiving and Christmas are my busiest holidays. And because I'm making all the holiday desserts for other people's families, once the holiday hits and the orders are delivered, I'm asleep. And outside of the holidays, Saturdays are for pop-ups and farmers markets and things like that. Weekdays, I'm busy creating content and working on my brand. And I recognize that my aunt does not think that I'm a mogul. She changed my diaper. She could care less how many followers I have until it's time to show off. Then, she'll pull up the gram, which is facts. And I have to take hold of who I am with constant self-reflection. I know my progress. I know my journey. I keep it as a keepsake because it's important to me. I know where I was last year. I know where I am now. And I constantly reflect to make sure that all my progress is recognized and identified. So you do the same. Don't ever feel like you haven't done anything because you've done something. Even if you've only made 5 new followers, you've done something. And I want you to make sure that you continue to pat yourself on the back for all of your progress and success because you're doing it. And don't feel guilty about being absent when you're working on your progress. Don't feel the need to compensate for it in other ways. You will deplete yourself and you will regret it later. Trust me. Now, what I do is I make a commitment to attend 3 to 6 events per year. 3 to 6. It's not definitely 6. And whatever those family events are, I arrive, I'm fully present, and I make it count. I know that this is another episode that will be more in depth because I feel like families don't really understand. So I'm probably going to make this another episode that is more telling. So if you have any questions or things you want to add to this episode, definitely let me know because this one is, it's needed more than anything. This is the part of the podcast I almost didn't share. But no nation, we're a family. And one thing the world needs is families having honest conversations, right? So, caring for myself is more important to me now more than ever. I'm in a place where I have to be aware of my feelings and moods and when it's time to rest. In a transparent moment, as I think about what I truly value, I make it a point to show genuine gratitude for those people, things, and experiences in my life. And as thankful as I am for the mindset I have and the ability to be able to retain information and process situations in a sharp and accurate manner, I'm always, let me be clear, always thankful for all that God has given me. I've been places, I've been offered opportunities that many people just wish for. And many times, I honestly didn't even ask for them. They came because I was ready and I was obedient to my process. At the beginning of this year, I made a decision. My decision was that I wanted love and a family. And me and Guy had a very real conversation. I was honest about my business and the importance of its success as a priority because that still mattered. But I also expressed what I wanted and was clear that as a woman who has experienced multiple miscarriages, I really wanted to be a mom. This was my true heart's desire. So I sat and basically said, if I can't have it or if it's not for me, I don't want it. So take it away. And a few weeks before Mother's Day this year, I found out I was pregnant. And I was happy because I felt like this was the moment I had waited for. I'm in a great relationship. I'm going to have this baby. And then 4 days before Mother's Day, I was scheduled to see my doctor. And she informed me that my HGC levels were dropping and that another miscarriage was definitely in the process. And this shook me because I had hope that this would be successful. And in December, I would be a mom. And it's still hard to talk about. And as long as I'm alive, I will see pregnant women and moms and be invited to showers, and it'll sting a bit. But I have to suck it up and take it one day at a time. Now, this felt like a failure because I lost something important to me, something that I prayed for and waited for. But I haven't given up hope that it's over for me. I trust every process. And I shared this part because, to me, money isn't the most important thing because I know how to make money. Relationships are important to me because living life alone would be devastating. And what I really wanted to do in this moment was to challenge you to think outside of the box and find the thing that you desire that money can't buy. What's that thing? Is it an award? Is it an experience? Is it a conversation with a potential mentor? We have to take time to appreciate the blessings that we have in our life and ask what makes us a success. Find out what is the most important currency in our lives. Because it could be your husband or your wife or your degree or the places you've traveled or your children. So think about what matters the most to you, because this is a part of our relationships and goals, and it all goes together. And I really, really appreciate and thank you for listening to my moment. And we're going to move on and get back to the importance of you. Okay, so back to you. You have to recognize that you are the most important person in your life. If you don't take care of you, who's going to run your empire? Recognize also who is taking care of you while you're building this empire. These are your core people, and this is the core of your business. And ask questions like, what do you do for yourself? My therapist asked me, what do you do for self-care? I just shrugged my shoulders. I'm the ultimate caregiver for everyone, but I have to be aware of my needs and be kind to myself in this process. Now, I literally save the best for last because you matter and you have to take time for you. If going out with your girls makes you loosen up, put it on the calendar. If watching Purple Rain with a face mask and a glass of wine is your happy place, schedule it. What works for me is do nothing day. It's a scheduled day for me. I have no deadlines, places to be. I can sleep, binge watch, eat ice cream and pizza, but I do nothing on this day but take care of me and reset. I do this because I know my business and vision will be accomplished with me in good health, in good relationships, along with being mentally and physically strong. So, after all this talking, what will be our call to action? No, nation, it's time to be kind to yourself. Take some time to get to know you outside of the dream. Set up a date night for you and your significant other that's just for you. If you can get away for a weekend, make plans. Give yourself something to look forward to. And also, send some positive vibes to a fellow entrepreneur. Do you think someone is dope? Tell them. It matters even when people think we're at the top of our game. We still appreciate a pat on the back and acknowledgement that we're an inspiration, right? Your kind words and honest review of someone else's work could open a door for a future collaboration, or just put a face to the name if the opportunity presents itself and you're in the same room by chance. One person I love as an entrepreneur and commit to reaching out to is Kalila Wright of Mess in a Bottle. She's so inspirational. She has set goals and crushed them. And sometimes, even when the walls come tumbling down around her, she still shares it. And it's important to build each other up because we all we got. Now, the bonus call to action is watching a documentary. You're going to have some video homework. PBS has a documentary out, and I watched it like 12 times. It's amazing. The The title is Boss, The Black Experience in Business. It's a story about overcoming and thriving, going back to the slavery days, to today's entrepreneurs, and it also talks about some people who are the funders of Black businesses. It's a must watch. I'm not going to give you spoilers, but watch it and tell me what you think. I'll post a link on unperishable.com. Now, if you enjoyed this podcast or know someone who would, make sure to not only join the No Nation, but connect them with me as well and share. So, till next time, it's Shari, and I hope you enjoy Unperishable. Remain unperishable, No Nation. Thank you.